Hi everyone, are you ready for a little story? This is from a series of books that always make me smile. They have fantastic illustrations, bright and colourful, and the stories are always a little bit silly. Norman, the slug with the silly shell. And this is by the author Sue Hendra. You may well have shared books like Barry the Fish with Fingers. It always makes me laugh, but there is often a very important message behind the actual story. Shall we dive in? And let's find out what Norman gets up to. Here he is. Ah, Norman. Look, he's got such a lovely smile on his face. Norman the slug thought snails were great. Wow, said Norman. Look at them. They are amazing. Shall we see what he's looking at? That is truly amazing. Look at all of them. It's like a snail pyramid, like they're in an acrobat or a circus performance. But unfortunately, the snails didn't think Norman was great. Whee! Crash! Oh, Norman, you silly slug, they cried. You've spoilt our fun. This only works if you have a shell. Norman felt left out. Sadly, he skulked off into the moonlight. If only I had a shell of my own, he sighed, looking at his own reflection. And that's when he had an idea. Maybe I could have a shell after all, he thought. He's taking matters into his own hands, I think. What is he going to come up with? But finding a shell was not easy as it seemed. One was too bouncy. Can you see what he's tied to himself? Boing, 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 boing. Looks to me like a tennis ball. The other was much too noisy. Bring! And one was already taken. It's got an apple. Who's aboard the apple? A little worm. So Norman needed time to think. Da 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 da! A shell! It was perfect. Norman had never been happier. He could join the snails at last. Norman loved being a snail. Look, there he is right in the very middle. And the snails loved Norman's silly shell. Oh, it's all going so well. But the fun didn't last for long. What can you see? Why might the fun suddenly be stopped? What do you think the bird wants? I think you might be right. He's after Norman's special shell. Suddenly there was a loud flapping noise. Look out! Bird! Cried the snails in panic. Quick, slither for your lives, or we'll end up as supper. But the bird was more interested in Norman's silly shell. It looked delicious. Norman was being carried up, up and away, higher and higher into the sky. What could he do? And Norman did the only thing a slug could do. He made slime. Lots and lots and lots of it. With a slither and a slother, a slip and a slide. Norman was free. But he was falling faster and faster and faster until blonk. Norman, Norman, are you okay? Asked the snails. Can you see where he's landed? Blonk. And what's landed on this snail's head? Wow, said Norman. That was great. I love flying. Ah, If only now I had wings. Ta-da! Off he goes with his pair of underpants wings. He looks like a little paraglider. How wonderful. That was excellent. It never fades to give me a smile on my face. It's the same author that wrote, that was the one that I have in my shelves, but I also have quite a number of these. And do you remember when we shared this right at the very, very start of lockdown? I need a wee! And this one, I think, is coming up soon on one of Mrs. Thorburns' videos. You have a great day today. Bye-bye.